And welcome back. Will Worsham joins us now for this week's Speaking Legal discussion. Good to see you again.
Good to be here again.
All right. We have a subject that we want to talk about.
Okay.
And that is the idea of a whistleblower. All right?
Sure.
And we're not talking about the referee, at the NBA or anything like that. But, just the idea of the protection. If you step forward, you're a whistleblower, what kind of protection is there for you?
Sure. Well, and you started to define whistleblower, but it's kind of important that we go a little bit beyond that because there are different kinds of whistleblowers. There's governmental whistleblowers. There are whistleblowers that exist, work in the private sectors. There are whistleblowers that are talking about law breaking. There are whistleblowers that are talking about unethical or immoral behavior, harassment, workplace harassment. So there's a broad spectrum of people that could be considered whistleblowers. And it's important to know which type of whistleblower you're talking about to see which type of protection law might apply.
One doesn't apply to the next necessarily?
No, in fact, the most kind of prominent, broad sweeping laws that protect whistleblowers is the Whistleblower Protection Act. It's the federal law, but it really only applies to federal employees or people that are pointing out government misconduct, government waste, fraudulent people defrauding the government is really the only protection that's afforded.
So private sector, although you may be thinking you're a whistleblower, you're not protected under that kind of law?
If it doesn't deal with defrauding the government, that law doesn't necessarily apply.
So that law doesn't apply, but within where you work or where you are may have its own set of...
Well, sure. I mean, a private company could have their own private guarantees about an employee that brought forth misconduct within the company, that was happening within the company, to the higher-ups. That would only be to the company's benefit to have employees reporting their supervisors up to their supervisors' if there was misconduct going on.
And I think that a lot of times that can be very scary to do because you may be afraid of losing your job or being outed by someone.
Sure.
You go to someone and you say, "Can I trust you? I got to tell you something." Then once you tell it, it's out there. So only to the degree that the person will,
keep the
honor that
secret.
Confidence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And usually any type of whistleblower laws or policies, they're going to protect someone's livelihood, their job. The other side of this is sometimes gets paired with, sometimes they go along with, a lot of times they dovetail, are anti-retaliation laws. And those, they're going to change from state to state, they're going to change from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, but those are going to apply more broadly that if you are a whistleblower, then there are laws that can say in certain scenarios, in certain situations, for certain types of reporting, it's illegal to retaliate against you as an employee.
Is this something you should seek a lawyer's advice?
I think it's always a good idea because a lawyer then can sit down with you and examine the exact type of situation that you're in, the conduct you're wanting to report, the entity that you work for, and see what, if any, protections are available for you before you bring that forward.
And there is confidence between a client and a lawyer.
Sure, attorney-client privilege would apply.
Yeah. All right, very good. Will
Now,
Worsham,
if you have a legal question for Will, you can email him at wworsham@color10.com, and of course, he will answer your question right here on the show.
This is true. And up next, the man with the mind for money, Bruce Porter, with this week's Dollars and Cents discussion.
We'll be right back.